rules. Like it's not just you just allow one, and then putts are good if they're within your putter's length.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
So if you're playing for anything on the line, even if you're playing for like pennies and you're doing like little bets like that, I understand it. So it really also depends a little bit on how you're playing it. If you're just out, like if I'm going out to play with my dad and my brother, we're not really keeping track of any specific rules. The not grabbing a flag stick, like people get upset if you don't take it. Now I feel like, especially during COVID, you weren't allowed to or weren't supposed to. It seems like most people I golf with actually almost prefer it in. I don't know if it's like something they picked up on, but at this point, I actually prefer the flag pole in. I don't really. You don't have to. I don't mind if you take it out, but I'm not going to be upset if you leave it in.
I'm good either way. I do know this. They have like looked at numbers, and more putts fall with it out.
Really?
Yeah. So like you could be costing yourself a stroke.
Yeah.
Every like 3 rounds or something. I don't know.
Take me from like 99 to 100
exactly.
overall. Yeah. So 844-770-3776. You can chime in with your own rec league or golf league rules that kind of seem a little bit kooky in honor of the game last night where the Chargers got the free kick and the points.
And real quick, we were looking this up. You came across one that I didn't even believe was a thing in the NBA.
Yes.
I still don't believe this is true.
Let's get Giannis queued up because I'm sure Giannis is pretty upset. Now, this is from AI on Google, but we did look it up, and only one player has requested this number, and they were denied. But it says here, the NBA, no NBA player has ever worn the number 69. It is not allowed, and it is banned due to the reasons you think it's banned.
69. I like that number.
At this point, it has to stay banned because when you unban it, you'd have all these stories about like why you couldn't have worn that number.
And the player that requested it,
Dennis Rodman.
Take a guess. I mean, sure.
He wore 91 and 10 as well.
They gave him number 70 after they declined him number 69.
Yeah,
it'd be great if he had 70 -1 or something. You just put a little sticker on the bottom of the jersey.
So that was pretty great. That's a pretty wild NBA one. That one is not necessarily a rule, but it is definitely a little bit out of pocket. We did find some baseball ones here, but you can chime in again with your more rec league ones because that's what I want to hear. But I will say this is one of my favorites from baseball. Pitchers are allowed to switch throwing arms in the middle of an at-bat, but only if they have injured the other one. I don't know how you prove that. And then the other part of it does, if a pitcher does switch arms, they do not get an opportunity to warm up the backup arm.
Oh, wow. So you got to go straight up left arm cold.
Yeah. I don't know why. Like that just seems
come ready.
A bit draconian of like, no.
Can a batter? No, never. You can't switch back and forth. Can I mean?
No, they outlawed that rule at one point. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can never switch back and forth during an at-bat. You have to declare beforehand.
I thought there was a pitcher that threw
ambidextrous.
Thank you. I didn't want to even attempt the word. I was like, that's not going to work.
It was after that happened, then they made this rule. They were like, you're not allowed to switch back and forth because I think that was the only case where a batter would ever want to do that.
Sure, if the pitcher was,
exactly.
Yeah.
So then that's when they installed the rule. But there's not many ambidextrous pitchers, so it wouldn't come up often, anyways,
if at all.
Whoever that guy was might have been like V1.
Yeah,
who made it to the pros. Yeah.
Well, and ESPN Madison's the new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, and I am curious to hear how Bob Uecker or Jeff Levin or whoever does the calls when Nestor Cortez comes in from the Yankees. He came over in the Devin Williams trade for the Milwaukee Brewers, and he is known for his unique pitching windups and pump fake pitches. That he is.
Oh, is this guy? Yeah.
He's a guy where it really often walks the line between a balk and pitching. He's very herky-jerky. And it is definitely something that's gotten some, I would say,
side eyes,
from umpires, publicity. So here's
notoriety.
What it says: while Cortez's windups are considered unusual, they don't necessarily violate baseball rules. Players are not allowed to raise their feet off the ground except when delivering the ball. A pitcher can take one step back and one step forward with their free foot. So he just does some strange footwork things, and it just herky-jerky, and it throws some batters off. It's a little gimmicky, but he's also a good pitcher.
I'm watching the highlights, by the way, of him pitching, and he looks like a joke. It looks like, is this like the bloopers of Major League Baseball?
Let's give us the play-by-play of it if you want to give it a try there.
Okay, so he's a left-handed pitcher. This one was normal, but his leg comes up, he stops, he brings his right foot back around his left foot who's it's on the mound, and then he brings it back up and pitches. So he slowly brings up the right, brings it down, kind of brings it around, brings it back up. He's doing all sorts of, and he's like doing like balancing yoga things before he pitches.
He's
it's
like
weird.
Bruce Lee, like gaining momentum with every tiny movement.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
He's like, be water. Yeah, he's just trying to be water.
He's just, okay. It looks silly. It looks really weird.
Bill in Madison chimes in rugby, you have to wrap a player up to tackle. If you just blow up or run into a player to tackle or get in the ground, it's a penalty called a shoulder charge. The NFL, he thinks the NFL should make that a rule too. I actually don't hate that.
That actually makes perfect sense.
What do you think, Ryan?
NFL?
Yeah, I mean, that probably would help safety-wise, too, and not guys just trying to blow each other up, like you said.
Another rule to interpret, whether or not...
Oh, true.
But honestly, like that one would be better than some of the other rules they've tried to do to like protect players with the no, what's the word?
No weight on the quarterback when you sack him.
No,
right?
but there was one that Chris Orr got upset about. It was
the drop tackle?
Yeah, the drop tackle, which is not a real thing. You know, he was on the show last year, and drop tackle is not something that's like taught. That's just you're trying to tackle. Like you're trying to get a guy to the ground. How are you supposed to do it? It's basically like if you didn't do a proper tackle, you're SOL, because then you're supposed to let go and just go flying off, as opposed to, because otherwise it could be a drop tackle.
Yeah, and that's the hip drop one. It's the one where I think
Hip
2
drop,
years
yeah.
ago it was Jordan Travis, the Florida State quarterback, notoriously broke his ankle because a guy hip drop tackled him. And then it happened a couple times in the NFL, but it's a pretty rare occurrence that guys get hurt on that.
But I mean, I like that idea of the rugby rule translating to the NFL, but I don't like that you'd have interpretations of the rule. Right?
Yes.
Now we're getting into the process of the catch, the process of the tackle. Did he wrap him up? Did he bring him to the ground? When did he let go? Was there more shoulder than like? I like the idea, but in practice, I don't know if it's going to turn into something that everybody complains about. That
is a very fair point. Don't be the person everyone complains about this holiday season. Go to Chalmers Jewelers, and you can go there, and you're not going to get custom jewelry at this point, but you can go in there and find some earrings, some necklaces, lots of different options. You can walk in there, rings, everything, and they can get it. And you can get in and out the door. I did this last year. I'm going to do it again this year. But I think I was in there for about a half an hour. I got exactly what I wanted at the exact price point. You can do that at Chalmers Jewelers. Also, if you want to tell the important person in your life who might be interested in watches, that Chalmers Jewelers got the Ball watches. They have a couple Rolex watches. Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Madison's family jeweler, Madison's local jeweler, Madison's custom jeweler. Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle it as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
Packers running back Josh Jacobs has been nothing short of spectacular during the Packers' 10-4 start this season. Jacobs has played all 14 games, has carried the ball over 260 times for nearing 1,200 yards, and has over 300 yards receiving. Head coach Matt LaFleur knocks on wood when talking about his workload.
I think we got to be mindful of his workload 100%, and he does a great job communicating with us in terms of where he's at. He's been pretty healthy.
Jacobs and the Packers host the Saints on Monday Night Football at Lambeau Field. I'm Alex Stroh.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Every day, Wisconsin's 600,000 family caregivers help their loved ones to continue living safely in their own homes. It's not easy. Each year, they spend an average of $7,000 out of their own pockets to provide this care. Wisconsin needs family caregivers, and they need more support. Tell your state lawmakers, Wisconsin family caregivers need a caregiver tax credit in 2025. Learn more at aarp.org/WI. That's aarp.org/WI. Paid for by AARP Wisconsin.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
There's a good chance if you watch sports, you're getting served information about hormone optimization. What does that even mean? Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health can tell you exactly what hormone optimization means. He will take your blood work and let you know if it's right for you. If you're feeling sluggish, not losing weight like you used to, you're not gaining muscle like you used to, or you just don't feel like yourself in most aspects of your life, go see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. In fact, sign up for the 6-week experience so you can see everything that Carbon World Health has to offer, including hormone optimization. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris are joined by ESPN NBA front office insider Bobby Marks. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Do you know or work with kids who have special healthcare needs? Help them live their best lives. Contact Wisconsin Wayfinder Children's Resource Network. Our specialists will connect you with services in your area. Wisconsin Wayfinder is free and confidential. Call 877-947-2929 or visit dhs.wi.gov/WISCWAY. Connect today. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Health Services.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
When I see the connection, though I see, I don't stare.
Jim, Matt, and Molly continues live from the Everlight Solar Studio. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Jon Arias, Matt Hamilton, Curly, Molly Brown out with babies. You can see us on the ESPN Madison's YouTube page, Wisconsin On Demand, Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. At Jim, Matt, Molly, at ESPN Madison is where you can chime in. Our poll question isn't posted on there. Maybe we can't. Or did you post our poll question?
Well, I didn't post it as a poll question because it's more of a people chiming in with the
Well,
questions.
I was just going to say, you can chime in on there, though. You can write it in. It's not necessarily written as a poll question.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you can call in, and we want to know, basically, what are some wonky rec sports rules? Or, I mean, look, we had Rip and Ronan share a rule from golf that he didn't like. Bill and Madison shared a rule from rugby that we kind of maybe want to apply to the NFL. So you can just chime in with some weird recreational sport rules that, I don't know, bother you or are wonky or you just find interesting. 844-770-3776. That's in honor of the free kick last night for the Chargers. I want to get into some etiquette mistakes. I think golf is full of a lot of things that can be annoying along the rule side of things, but we did say earlier that the NBA has a rule that nobody can wear the number 69, so Giannis is very upset.
69.
I think my favorite baseball rule that we found is pitchers are allowed to switch throwing arms in the middle of an at-bat, but only if they injure the other one, and you cannot warm up your new arm. That's very interesting. And then there was this. The headline here, 42-year-old pulled out of the crowd to make his NHL debut and wins the game. I'm just going to give you the quick cliff notes of the story here, and this was from The Guardian. This was 4 years ago, but David Ayers was sitting in the stands with his wife, which I absolutely love. Carolina Hurricanes goalie went down. James Reimer went down with an injury, so Ayers is the on-call emergency netminder, and so in Toronto. So he started getting his gear on just in case something happened to Carolina's second option. And then midway through the second period, he got a call that Carolina's second goalie was hurt, and the 42-year-old Zamboni driver was now walking into be the oldest goalie in NHL history. And he was paid $500 for his services, and he got to keep the jersey. And it was obviously one of the most unforgettable moments in his life. He was a kidney transplant recipient 15 years prior to this. and obviously a dream come true for him, but a weird rule that I did not know that there is a emergency. Now, what I can't find in this article, I find it interesting that he said he was the on-call emergency netminder in Toronto. So I always wonder if that's like for either team.
I think he's like all time. Like, it's
like all-time goalie,
so
all-time quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
That's the way that reads.
That seems like a fake movie thing that happened in a movie. You're like, but that doesn't happen in real life, stupid movie.
Right.
Because why wouldn't, I don't know much about hockey, but why wouldn't they just bring somebody who doesn't play goalie and just be like, you got to play goalie now? You know, like you bring in a position player to pitch.
Yes.
Why would you rely... Why would you rely on a guy in the stands and not like a real player? That's
I actually prefer if it was just like anyone in the stands too. Like,
that'd be even
hey,
better.
Pick somebody
you're
out.
the backup goal. You're the in-house goalie tonight.
Have to be at least 18 years old.
You get a discounted ticket if you sign up to be the backup goalie.
Isn't that like on an airplane? Don't you get a discount ticket if you're near the emergency
I don't know
door?
if you get a discount ticket, but they do ask you. So when you sit down at a hockey arena, be like, "And sir, are you prepared to play goalie?" If
How
you sit in this seat?
amazing would it be if you went to hockey games and one person is the lucky fan that, hey, you never know, you might be playing in this game. Like, how cool would it be to go to hockey games?
Right?
That'd
Or
be
stressful.
You get the golden ticket.
Yeah.
Be awesome if the seat they sat in was like an actual like jump seat, like on an airplane, like
Right,
on the ice.
Yeah.
like in the penalty box. You just get to sit in
there
the penalty box,
goalie uniform the whole time.
just drinking a beer.
But you know what I mean? Like, why?
Right.
Why does this exist? Why does the rule exist? I guess.
Well, honestly,
I mean, I don't know why this NFL rule that happened last night exists.
Why does that exist?
I'm kind of thinking about with the hockey rule, like, what if the NFL did that for kickers? Because there's been enough times where like a kicker gets hurt, and then a lot of NFL teams, they're like, we don't really have a backup guy. It's like, hey, we're just gonna have to like go for it on every second 2-point conversion, and then we're gonna have to like find the guy who's just got a strong leg and hope he kicks it straight.
College
like,
football.
for kickoffs.
College football should do that when McAfee has
Yes.
his guys kick.
Yeah, you're
like
in
they should
the
automatically
game.
qualify for like the emergency kicker.
JJ and Ponette chimes in with the annoying rec league rule. The only thing he can think of is for co-ed volleyball. Typically, both genders need to touch the ball in each possession before it goes over the net, which he said is tough to adhere to. Yeah. I mean, right, yeah. That, especially, I mean, most of the time in the co-ed, there's maybe one the opposite gender playing, and so now you got to track them down and get them involved every single time.
Well, you make the game more difficult.
Yeah, it's way more difficult.
Yeah, you're trying to just accomplish one thing and get the ball over the net, and now you have to be like, make sure that person touches it.
Imagine being the GM in a rec volleyball league, being like, all right, we need to make sure we got the right roster construction.
You'd have
here.
to have, like, let's just say it's a team of guys. You'd probably have to at least have 2 to 3 women playing, just for the sheer volume of, like, we can't make this impossible. Like, if it honestly would thin it out, because you can't, like, we have one woman playing because it would be too hard to single her out and she never could get a break.
Time.
But
No.
yeah, she'd be exhausted. So that does seem a bit much. That would be very annoying here. Speaking of annoying, though, I want to go over some etiquette mistakes that popped up here from Golf Digest. But you can continue to chime in with strange recreational rules, or, you know, golf comes to mind with a lot of these funky ones, but just different things in rec sports that you do in your free time that have some weird rules that annoy you. 844-770-3776. These are etiquette rules according to Golf Digest that many people make mistakes here. One is starting your routine too late. Mm-hmm. Yeah, which again I get, but I guess I haven't really come into that very often, like someone truly taking a long time to get it rolling. But I guess in theory, there's one. We talked about this, not grabbing the flag stick. And I think that one's changed a little bit over time. I think
so.
That's almost a preference. Like, usually I'll just ask, like, do you want it in or out? And if whoever's going to do it. This one is interesting. Practicing putts on long putts on a crowded putting green. I guess, yeah. I haven't really come across a lot of crowded putting greens.
Right.
They're usually not crazy busy. The other one was like basically like owning a hole in a putting green too. But like, I don't think anyone really I've never felt like I couldn't just hit onto another hole.
Never.
Even if someone's got like 5 balls lined up, like I still feel like after they hit one, I'll just hit in between.
Yeah.
The other one here is starting to walk during the backswing, which I do understand. That one is definitely can be
distraction.
Yeah, that can definitely be a distraction. And then leaving the rakes in the bunker is more of like, hey, just pick up after yourself. So I understand that one too. Don't do that. Not the end of the world, but
I got one.
Yeah.
When people leave sunflower seeds on the green. because they're too lazy to spit it out somewhere else.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing?
Yes.
That or cigarette butts. Yeah.
You're playing a special kind of course if they're leaving cigarette butts. But yes.
That's the course I can afford, Jim.
The city course is there. I would say cigars. I've seen some cigars. That's the same thing, too.
Yeah.
So
those are
that's
easier
good.
to pick up, at least.
But still, like, it's more the idea of the bunker thing. Like, we've talked about this before. I really don't have any excuse. I can't really justify people who are just straight up littering. Like, if you're driving down the road and someone just throws something out of your car, you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, we all agreed we're not doing this, at least. Like, we can't just throw things out of your car.
I signed a pledge in kindergarten, guys. This is serious.
But, I mean, it's one of those where you're like, what? I'm sorry, they still make you? You don't?
Yeah.
You litter? Like, what are we doing right now?
That's
you
right,
literally
yeah.
just hold on to it, and then you find a garbage. It's not like a hard solution.
You literally don't litter. That's all there is.
Yeah. I mean, it's so aggressive. Like, if you're just driving and someone throws something out of
But
their
that
car.
first one you said about the routine, like that doesn't usually happen in golf. But I understand what they're trying to say. Like if you have a long routine, like just kind of get it going, and then when it's your turn, then you're almost done with it, and then you save a lot of time through the course of 18 holes or 100 shots. Or
Do you
whatever.
have Matt Hamilton? He doesn't have long. He definitely has a routine. And Knights I've golfed with before has a routine. Would you say you have? I probably have one. It's probably super short because I can't specifically. I have a routine when I get near the ball.
Yeah.
But like Gabe Neitzel, obviously with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy does morning shows on ESPN Milwaukee, and Hamilton have a little bit more of like a walk up. Like there's a little bit of like not a pomp and circumstance, but there's some steps involved. Like when they approach the ball, there's a rhythm to it, like a free throw line where you're doing X amount of dribbles. Mine's more of like if I get near the ball, I'm going to take 2 deep breaths, and then I'll probably do 1 practice swing, then take 2 deep breaths, and then swing.
Yeah.
And then if I throw that off, I'll step out. But most of the time, I'm still like, screw it. I'm this far in, and we got to keep on moving. So I'll just be a bad shot.
I have to step off sometimes, and I feel bad for doing so. But like maybe a mosquito gets in your ear or something, you're like, I'm sorry, guys. I know what's going to happen if I swing right now because I've done this a billion times where I don't back off, and then it ends up being just awful. So I get backing off. As far as routine, I don't know. I guess I do have a routine, probably not as big as or long as Matt Hamilton's.
Yeah, and then a couple more here. One was not minding your shadow. That one's all right. I get it, but like that's a big ask. Yeah,
I like on the green.
Yes,
and it's late in the afternoon, and like you're moving and like you're trying to putt. Like, just be aware.
Yes, I agree with you on that. But anyone's getting mad at you for it, you could just be like, hey, because you just might not. I mean, you might not pick up on it.
Yeah.
Walking between a player and their ball, I avoid that. But also, if someone did it, I don't get upset about it. Like it's more of like, hey, that's more of you shouldn't be doing it, but not the end of the world. Not placing your bag in line with the next green.
What? What does that even mean?
Yeah, so I didn't know that one either. You've hold your birdie putt and excited to claim your honors on the next tee. The only problem is your bag is on the opposite side of the green, leaving your partners to wait while you go get it. Poor planning. I think most people now play with the carts, but that is,
Man, we're getting
That's
picky.
prudish.
Right, exactly.
That's very prudish.
Yes, exactly. And that kind of wraps it up there. It was just kind of, then the other one was, you got to be there, for 15 minutes early, you're late kind of thing. So it's like get there early for your round.
Oh, yeah. I'm bad at that one.
You show up and head to the tee box?
Yeah. For my brother's bachelor party not actually for bachelor party. This was actually for the weekend of the wedding. This was the Friday before the Saturday wedding. We showed up to a 9 a.m. tee time at 8:57.
Oh, perfect.
With about 16 people there waiting for us.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, you got to get there a little early for something like that.
This one was really bad. This was on us.
I'm not always great because again, a lot of times it's during the day golfing, and so like I have a day job and then trying to squeeze golf in. Sometimes I'm just running too tight, which really only hurts me because what happens is I don't have no time for warm up. It's just a matter of like I'll throw my stuff. I'm not holding anyone up, but it's like, all right, we're just gonna have to go. But we're never really playing for money or going too deep. So
I feel like I waste my if I show up late, I'm mad because I'm like, well, now I just wasted the first 3 or 4 holes.
Yes, I agree. That it's more on you.
Yeah.
Like it's more of a punishment to you.
Yeah.
If you don't get that time to get in there. Chris in Manitowish Waters chimes in, and we'll move on to something else after the break here. One rule I cannot stand is my son's flag football team has a hand swiping rule that if someone reaches for your flag, you can't ever stiff arm or slap it away. And because it does say you can't juke everyone. And you are asking a lot of these kids to always be juking. Again, I think that's more of, I remember playing it. I felt like the rule is more, if your hand is above your waist, it's fine. It's just when you get down below you, like, so then you're slapping like right at waist level, then it's more of you're slapping it away. Now, that's too much nuance for whoever's officiating the flag football league, but that's how I feel like. At one point, I thought maybe I'd want to get into athletic coaching or be like a teacher and maybe gym teaching. And I kind of just remember when you do some of the stuff with volunteer, and I think at least the way we called it was more of like, hey, if you're reaching out, fine. If you're reaching down, then it's a penalty. Because you're down, you're trying to swipe them away from your flag. And if you played with your friends like in gym class or whatever, that was kind of the rule when you self-officiate. It was more of like, hey, out, fine, down.
I think that makes sense. You can't swipe. That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So, yeah. You can stiff arm, can't swipe
You can
down.
push them away.
Yes.
You just can't slap them down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think we've solved that one.
All right,
So,
we
Chris,
got
you
it.
can take that to your son's your flag football
Thank
league.
you.
And
Jim?
we've solved that for them.
Jim, the gym teacher. There we
Exactly.
go.
Yes, it was on the table. Let's give away a case of High Life. We couldn't do that yesterday because the phones didn't work.
No, they did not.
Everything stopped working because it snowed for the first time yesterday. YouTube was iffy. 4 websites worked, and our phones
There was
didn't
an
work.
apocalypse. The world could
2
have been
to 4
ending.
inches in Madison was done. All right, what number we?
We got 2 to 4 inches. Why don't we take caller number 3, right in the middle?
Call number 3, 844-770-3776. You're going to win a case of High Life. 844-770-3776. Call number 3 wins a case of High Life. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
FX's Say Nothing.
We thought joining the IRA was the noblest thing a person could do.
Northern Ireland, 1971.
They could beat us, they could shoot us, but the one thing they could never get us to do was talk.
Based on the true story and the New York Times bestseller.
You were taught that you were fighting in the name of the people. And I think people should know that it's all lies.
FX's Say Nothing. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Lowe's knows that to win the job, pros need the best prices. That's why only at Lowe's, MVP's Pro Rewards members can get a volume discount on eligible orders as low as $1,500 at the Pro Desk. That means you get the prices you need to start any job, small or large, because Lowe's knows pros. Valid in-store only. More terms and restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms or Pro Desk for details.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
The High Life Dive Bar of the Week on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Miller High Life. Celebrate local dives with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life.
Congratulations to Noah in Madison. He won himself a case of High Life. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We're live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim, Rutledge, Jon Arias with you. Primetime Willer, Sean behind the glass. And a lot of Badger volleyball fans, and John can add context to this, were shocked and also very pleased, a little schadenfreude, that Nebraska maybe didn't win the title. I guess Matt Hamilton is one that always roots for whoever beats you. He wants them to win the title, so you say, hey, we lost to the championship team.
Yeah.
In this case, the way Nebraska beat Wisconsin handily most of the match. I mean, there were tight matches, but the final score wasn't there. I shed no tears for Nebraska with their loss, so I was kind of more of like, good. Especially, you have some context to share that it was a pretty historically bad loss for Nebraska.
Yeah, my reaction at the end was kind of like, that's a shame. So I saw this on a tweet. I don't know how reliable anything is on Twitter, but this is from an account that says they're providing the volleyball community with consistent, reliable, and easily accessible data. And they said 0.3%. Penn State volleyball was down 22-16 in the fourth set last night to Nebraska. Nittany Lions would go on to win in 5. But their chance of winning that set at 22-16 was just 0.3%. They came back. They won it by 2 in the fourth. In fact, they won the fifth by 2. They won the third set in extra points by 2, and they lost the first set by 2. But they had a 0.3%, and it got me thinking that, obviously you could put anybody up 22-16, and they're likely going to win that, right? They could be playing Nebraska up 22-16, they're going to win. So it's very, very unlikely that Penn State even won the set, let alone the entire match. And it got me thinking, like, what are the other upsets like that you can remember where you were almost all but guaranteed it, like Nebraska was, and then you lose? And the first thing that came to my head, Packers fans, 2014 Seattle Green Bay NFC Championship game, and the Packers, I believe didn't they have like a 99.9, like I think it was, they even had a higher percentage chance of winning that game than Nebraska had that set. So, like, what are your top 10 or your top comebacks, rather, of all time in sports? Like, because that obviously was one in volleyball to come at the point in the season it did in the national semifinals, which was crazy.
The Patriots coming back in Atlanta, at different points, it looked like there was maybe a 98% chance the Falcons were going to win that game. Obviously, Matt Ryan and that team blew it. And here, what made me think about it, the largest blown lead in NFL history regular season, the Indianapolis Colts blew a 33-0 halftime lead to the Minnesota Vikings. The Colts, quarterbacked by Matt Ryan.
Oh, yeah, right?
So, Matt Ryan, not a closer.
The Matts and the Ryans.
No coffee, no coffee for Matt Ryan. Coffee is for closers.
What's funny about that game is my buddy had taken his kid. It was his birthday present to go to his very first Vikings game. And it was like 33-0 right at the half. And I remember texting him at the half like, well, at least he's learning early, what it's like to be a Minnesota Vikings fan.
Right.
This is a perfect first game for him to witness. And then it's funny because that went from like the worst game ever to like the most memorable first game you could ever go to as a Vikings fan on your birthday as a little kid and watching the greatest comeback in NFL history. But yeah, so exactly, just like that. It's stuff like that. So the Seahawks had a chance of beating the Packers. It went down to 0.1%.
Wow.
When Seattle ultimately came back and beat the Packers back in 2014.
844-770-3776. You can tell us what your, I guess, best recollection, worst recollection, depending on which side of it you are, as far as comebacks and the percentage chance to win off the comebacks. And some of these are a bit like the math doesn't necessarily math because it's like, all right, 99% chance of winning in the second quarter. It's like there's a lot of time left here. And so sometimes those can be a bit misleading, but what's those biggest comebacks either that you were a part of or that happened to you that sticks in your mind? 844-770-3776.
Well, the one that stands out to me is watching it as a kid, and that was the Oilers and the Bills.
Oh, yeah.
In the wild card. I remember watching that on my TV, and it was over the air, so it wasn't like necessarily clear.
Yeah.
I remember it being kind of like not the cleanest signal, but they came back, what was it, like 30-something at the half or 28-0 at the half or somewhere in that vicinity. And I remember watching that going, oh, my gosh, that's a pretty big deal. So there's one that just kind of stands out in my head. Let's see here. What did we come up with?
So I have one here. Los Angeles Clippers, 135. The Golden State Warriors, 131. And the Clippers came back from 31 points, the largest comeback in NBA playoff history. First round game 2, the Clippers in 2019 were down 31 points and came back and beat the Warriors in that game.
That's insane.
Isn't that the one where Patrick Beverley got in Kevin Durant's face and tried to one up? I think he tried to one up him a lot. That was one of the final KD Warrior seasons, I'm pretty sure.
It was. KD was on that team. I don't have the context of what Pat Bev did in it.
When you
KD
say
was on that team.
If you say that's the game Patrick Beverley got in somebody's face, and we'd be like, yep.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yep,
yeah,
that happened.
That's always
probably
correct.
Yeah, probably. Speaking of basketball, remember when Reggie Miller scored 8 points in 10 seconds or something?
They made it a 30 for 30.
30 for 30, yeah.
I was going to say, I don't remember it. I wasn't alive, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was
You
amazing.
still can watch it and then remember it. Not every memory has to be
If it didn't happen before 1999, it doesn't count.
You really bother me sometimes.
I brought up a list. The Boston Red Sox in 2011 AL playoff race blew a 9-game lead in the wild card race after going 7-20 in September. Wah wah.
I'm gonna go with this one. Then we're gonna get to Jason Wilde, but this one was good for me. The Cleveland, were the Indians at that point? Cleveland Indians or Guardians blowing a 3-1 lead to the Chicago Cubs, and in fact blowing, I believe, 3-run lead late in that game to the Chicago Cubs for the Cubs to break the curse. And I'll tell you what, if the Cubs are ever going to break the curse, that's how you're going to do it. So I'll say this to you, and you can maybe ask Wilde about this on their side. If the Vikings ever break their Super Bowl curse, it's going to be wild. It's going to be something where you are going to feel like your heart stomped on, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, It'll happen.
It's not going to be easy.
It'll make it that much better, though.
Sure.
I'll tell you that. We can ask Jason Wilde if he agrees with my theory that I just made up. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank, with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. A career high with recognition that followed. Wisconsin women's basketball forward Sarah Williams named Big Ten Player of the Week. The honor fresh off Williams' 36-point outing and a Badger win over Butler. Head coach Marissa Mosley on how the awards push the junior to keep rising.
The first time it ever happened, it was amazing, right? Because that's a first time. And not that it's old hat or she's not appreciative or anything else. It's just more like this is another step on this kind of journey for her to where she's trying to get to and where she's trying to also carry this program.
If you're not getting windows from Santa, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month. PellaWI.com.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you? you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text PEC to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text PEC to 321-321. That's PEC to 321-321.
For a truck that gets the job done, drive a 2024 Chevrolet Silverado EV work truck from Zimbrick Chevrolet. 393-mile range, over 12,000-pound towing capacity, 510 horsepower. Save $12,500 with 0% APR for 60 months to well-qualified buyers through GM Financial. Monthly payments equal $1,667 per $1,000 financed. Offer ends January 2nd. Zimbrick Chevrolet, East Madison, Sun Prairie, and ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
When severe weather hits and the power goes out, do you have a plan? For reliable power and peace of mind, propane can do that. It only takes about 10 seconds for a propane-powered generator to restore power to your home. So no matter what Mother Nature has in store, you know you're prepared. Learn more at WIPGA.org. This message is sponsored by your local propane provider and the Wisconsin Propane Education and Research Council.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Devin Robinson from Badger Volleyball, here with Madison's best roofing, siding, and window company, Ridgetop Exteriors. I protect the net at the field house, and they protect your home. They're trusted, local, and affordable. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com today. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin sports. Catch what you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health Middleton. Keep your performance up and on track in all areas of your life with Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Middleton.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB Academy offers training programs for players of all ages and skill levels. Learn from some of the best baseball coaches in the area and find the program that fits your training goals and your schedule. Spots are filling up fast, so visit grbacademy.com to sign up now. That's grbacademy.com. GRB Academy, baseball for the serious player.
Matt Hamilton here to tell you about my friends at Revive Restoration. Nobody plans for accidents to happen, but when they do, you can count on Revive to be professional, efficient, and detail-oriented as they make things right again. Revive Restoration.
When you've been seriously injured, you need a trusted team on your side. Gruber Law Offices is available 24/7 and will even come to you. Your first call is free. Your first visit is free. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
My thoughts were adrift, a pulsating terrace approaching the rift, through which I could spy several glimpses beneath the darkness. The light from above could not reach.
Well, the powers that be don't want Jason Wilde to come on the air and shake the tree of Packer fans with some dramatic news that you just won't hear about now. You'll have to follow him on Blue Sky. He's not on Twitter much, I don't think.
He's active on Twitter, but I think he's similar to you, Jim, where he just does it for work now. It's just
like on your desktop. I mean, it's more of like that's basically, one, it just cuts down phone usage in general.
Oh, yeah.
If you just take Twitter off, because I feel like it's like a little bit of a drug, you just pop on there. But then, two, it's just, even with all discussions, including sports ones, it just seems everyone's aggressively just wants to be a jerk, and nobody wants to have a discussion. So I was like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to use it when and it's not even for work. Like, if I'm sitting at home, like, maybe I'll open up the computer. But I use my phone a lot less at home because I don't have Twitter on it. Jon Arias, Jim Rutledge with you, live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. You can see us on YouTube. I don't know your thoughts on social media, but I've been trying to mix it up a little bit.
I hate social media, but I have to use it. I wish there's a scenario where I could just, you know what I really want to do, guys? I want it to be like 96, 97, and I just want like a flip phone, and that's all I want. And I want a flip phone that can take iPhone photos without social media. That's what I want.
Oh, that would be really useful for being in like a media job too, because then you get all the high quality photos you need, like doing sideline stuff before volleyball matches.
Yep. Yeah, it's just that I don't like social media, but I'm on it.
What is your biggest gripe with social media? Because the stuff that was social media for me, and it's not even necessarily the content of the algorithm, but whether it's TikTok, whether it's Twitter, or whatever of these, and Blue Sky is a little different because they also have been self-controlling the algorithm. That and I don't use Instagram as much, but I'm sure it's the same thing. That it's designed to basically, it's like candy, and it kind of rots your brain, but it gets you these dopamine hits, and it just keeps on feeding you the same things over and over again that either bother you or make you happy. So then you get kind of just like as an individual sucked into your own little world, and then it's because you're getting these dopamine hits, you end up just going back and back and back, and so you get kind of addicted to it, and that's what I don't like about it, because it's like, wait, one, I want to see other perspectives, and two, I don't want to feel like I'm missing out if I'm not looking at my phone all the time, and that's because of the algorithms creating all these dopamine hits that feels like you got to go and check it like an addict.
You nailed it. It's 100%. That's what it is. It's an addiction, and they do it on purpose.
Yes.
And they make it like a casino, and they give you all the noises and the feels, and then the content that you crave, and then the algorithm gets better and better and better, and then you're just sitting there, and now it's 9 o'clock. You're like, what have I been doing all evening? I haven't done anything. And then you do it again, and so I hate it. Yeah. Obviously, I'm embarrassed if I showed you my screen time.
Oh yeah.
It's the worst thing in the world. I'm never going to show that to anybody.
Come on. How bad?
I turn it off. No, I won't do. I don't.
I should turn it off.
Yeah, I just turn it off.
I get it every Sunday morning.
Yeah, I know. Me too. It's the worst.
I can't handle that.
It's just a reminder, like, hey, dummy, here's how much of your life you wasted this week.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
what I take
I'll
it
tell
as.
you mine if you tell me yours.
No, never going to tell that to anybody. That's
Come
my
on.
own little secret here. No, it's the worst, man, because, like, Jim, you nailed it. Like, it's designed to steal your dopamine. It's designed to steal your attention. They're trying to capture everyone's attention, and the more attention they capture, the bigger they become, and the more you get addicted to them feeding you what you want.
Bill in Madison says 96, 97, there were no flip phones. It's more like mid-90s where the flip phone era is. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there was some.
Well, I had a flip phone in like 2000.
I'm sure there was more of like they're not.
You also said 96, 97, and he said mid-90s. Aren't
Isn't that
those
the same thing?
Yeah.
Well, he said 93, 94.
Yeah, okay,
yeah.
so they probably did. I thought they didn't have, when I said that, I was like, actually, probably 99, 2000 is when they had flip phones. But my point is, I want to go back to the 90s.
Yes, yeah.
That was the whole point of my comment there. I just want to go back to the 90s and have a flip phone. But I have a flip phone that has no social media. I want to text, and I want to take high-quality photos. That's all I want.
Yeah, basically, we just don't want social media. Because here's the other part, which is the part I find interesting. If you like look into some of the stuff about like banning TikTok and all that, it's more the idea of, and there's a fine line with free speech, but what they could do, and they're capable of doing, they have technology to do, is to put regulations on the algorithm. Like basically telling the algorithm, this is what they're trying to do with AI and stuff too, but basically telling companies like, hey, your algorithm has these limits. Like you can only access this information off of the user, so then the algorithm stops feeding them. And it's not specific to the content. It's just a matter of like it becomes less addictive then.
Yeah.
Because if you regulate the algorithm a little bit, then it's not as ingrained into your, because basically, wherever you go online, I swear it listens to you, whatever you listen to on your music, anything like that. So it just kind of restricts what it could pull information about you.
Yeah.
So then the algorithm, it's not restricting content. You can still find whatever you're looking for, but it restricts the content that is fed to you regularly.
That makes sense. I thought, what's probably going to be a thing is where you can probably create your own algorithm. I thought I saw a thing that Instagram is going to let you like reset your algorithm. Did I just make that up? Like, how cool would it be to be like, get me off of this one. Let's go try something new. Like just to have a reset algorithm button. I think that'd be amazing. Or just go back to remember back in the day when you had social media and it was just like, so-and-so posted something at 4:00. So-and-so posted something at 4:15. And you just got whatever happened as it came in. It was like a ticker in that sense. Like, oh, the stocks are up, And now it's just, I just wish it was maybe like that. That might be better.
Yeah, I think that's what the Blue Sky is, because I don't necessarily understand all the words for this.
Yeah.
The first differentiator in Blue Sky is that it's a decentralized app. So that affects the algorithm. It's not coming, and then you can change your handle to use it on your own domain. You can pick a different server than the one operated by Blue Sky. So in theory, you don't have to use Blue Sky's server. So that again would affect what's being served to you in your algorithm. And then you have really a lot of control over content moderation, and so you can kind of control more than other apps your algorithm.
I like that.
So like that's the appeal for it. It just obviously has to continue to gain popularity, to have the people you're looking for on there. But 844-770-3776. Do you like, let's ask a question.
Flip phone or smartphone?
Yeah. Do you like social media? Because it's funny, like we get into this weird banning. It's like, if we're banning TikTok, then let's ban Twitter. Let's ban them all. Like, what's the difference?
I do like some social medias, though. I think Instagram, by and large, is okay.
Wasn't the TikTok thing just because it was owned by like China and they were afraid China was going to get your information? But they all steal your information.
And just so a side note, it's also not owned by China. It's owned by a company in Korea, but the parent company, but it is completely split off. But technically, the LLC and everything about TikTok in America is not owned by a Chinese company.
Of course, how convenient. That's exactly what I would do.
Right. Well, I always joke with that part of it. I'm tracked, folks. I have my phone. Yeah. I have everywhere I go. Everyone knows where I am. I can't get into the building here without my phone, and it has to know I'm here. Like everywhere you go, all the time is tracked. So again, it goes back to my yes. It seems very just kind of let's just pick one to pick on because Twitter is getting into your business.
They all are.
Yeah,
every single
TikTok,
one of them.
Yeah, Instagram and Facebook. Look, let's not pretend that Meta is like the end all be all. I get what you're saying about Insta, mainly because you don't have the comments, and so it just
there are
you
comments.
do,
You opt into comments.
Yes, and it's really a lot harder to see it. So it is really just a picture medium. So I would say like the least toxic is probably Instagram, but I also can't figure it out. I don't know how to find anyone to follow. Like you have to like know who they are. Like I wish they had a better suggested page. Because all my suggestions are just like random like NFL memes.
But that's why I kind of like it too, because then you have to really go out and find. It's harder to find people, and I think that makes it more rewarding.
Better?
That's because you're not as addicted because you're not just finding random people to follow all the time.
That's true.
I think it's a better way to moderate things. Like TikTok, I don't care who owns it or what country it's from. It's just I find that so addicting that I've never wanted to touch it. Because I know I'll get lost in there.
Everybody talks about how addicting the algorithm is on TikTok more than anything.
And that's why I think it might be the most toxic of the social medias because it's so hard to get off.
Yeah.
At least Twitter, like every once in a while, somebody makes you so mad you just put it down for the day.
See, I would say Twitter will actually probably bother me more. Because video, like I only got so much. I can't just like I don't have the time to just have the video open. Like,
but that's the thing. That's why TikTok is so bad.
But then I close it. I can't sit there and flip through videos. TikTok, Twitter, when I had it, I'd open up. I could read 10, 15 tweets, maybe interact, and put my phone back down. If I'm with my kids and playing, I can't open up and then watch TikToks and do this whole thing. Like that's far more engaging. It's the same reason why like we're streaming on YouTube. I don't watch podcasts on YouTube because that's just a bigger. Now I got my eyes involved too, and my ears. It's just more of a commitment, and so I'm listening. Wisconsin on Demand. I'm not watching it. So to me, TikTok's like that, where it's like I have to make a commitment. So I'm just carving out 10, 15 minutes, and then I'll put it away.
I think there are weirdos among my age group who aren't TikTok, and they're not actually watching. They're swiping and listening.
What do you mean?
They're just
they're doing other things, but they just like throw a TikTok video on, a long one, and then they'll just listen to it in the background.
Oh,
while they're
I
doing
have done
something
that
else.
with videos on X.
Yeah, the long ones. There's some good ones though.
What kind of long videos you get into, Jim?
Honestly, it's it's some like religious scholar.
Tooth cleanings?
No, it's a religious scholar, and he does like 4 or 5 minutes breaking down like people ask him questions. Dan McClellan is his name, and he's fascinating. And he just kind of goes through whether what's true, what's not, why it's true. Breaks down like I took a lot of religious history classes in college, so
you take the all 22 of religion.
Basically, and I just find it fascinating because he's very straightforward. But he's like a historian. He's like a famous historian on religion.
You know what the last
Those
video?
are the ones I let. Those are the long ones that I watch. There's other ones, movie.
He's like a religious.
A lot of Nate Bargatze on mine.
Oh, okay, there
is
you
that
go.
how he say his name? Or Dave Chappelle. A lot of comedians.
And those ones are longer bits too. There's
Yeah,
like
Jim
2-3
Gaffigan.
minutes.
Yeah,
you
a
put
lot
your
of-
phone down. You're not actually watching it for a while.
Yeah, but I usually don't. Again, I don't dive in on those. But there's like a podcast for that. I can't keep up with everything I want to consume, to be honest.
Oh, that's the worst part about it.
I open up my podcast. I'm like, God, there's like 7 of these I want to listen to. And after a certain point, you're just like, well, now it's old. It's for sports. After 2 or 3 days, you're like, well, this is done.
Yep, you never get to it.
I
do
guess
you?
I just missed it.
I'll tell you the last long form video I watched was from Weekly Wilde, talking about Aaron Rodgers and their unique relationship. It's like 7 minutes long. It's fascinating. I'm telling you, Packers fans, you're going to want to watch that answer by Wilde talking about his relationship. It's great.
If only the phones worked, and we
There
could
you
ask
go.
him about it.
Yeah, we could have asked him about it. I was
we-
fascinated. I was just like, this is the last video I've watched where I just put it on for 7 minutes, put my phone down, and just let it play.
Maybe we can Morse code it to him.
More, we could
Yeah.
smoke signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with J&K Security Solutions. I guarantee they'd have the internet working in your house. So whether it's home automation, commercial security, home security, or commercial security, J&K Security Solutions, locally owned, veteran-owned, family-owned J&K Security Solutions. Go find them today for your home or commercial security or commercial fire needs. This is Jim Matt Molly, presented by Coors Light.
The Great Dane has been a Madison original for 30 years. Supporting the community has been and remains a pillar of the Great Dane since they opened here in Madison. Their largest fundraiser is Adopt a Family, which has provided thousands each year in gifts and much-needed supplies for local families since 1995. From food to mattresses. This year, they're supporting the Outreach LGBTQ Community Center to ensure more parents and children get the holiday season that they deserve. Stop in any Great Dane location or head to GreatDanePub.com to donate today.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollerstrom, and this is your Sports Center Update brought to you by the College Football Postseason on ESPN Radio. Don't miss the opening round of the College Football Playoff featuring a triple header this Saturday on 100.5 ESPN and streaming free on the ESPN app. And you can catch the start of the College Football Playoff tonight as we will be joining the first round matchup between number 10 seed Indiana and number 7 seed Notre Dame live from South Bend. We'll be joining In Progress for the second half starting approximately at 9:30 p.m. because after Jim, Matt, and Molly here right here on 100.5 ESPN, we have Bucks basketball. Bucks coming off their NBA Cup championship on Tuesday are taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, the second-ranked team in the Eastern Conference. Cavs currently at 23-4 on the season. Bucks at 14-11. Bucks are 4.5-point underdogs out in Cleveland. That game tips off at 6:30 p.m. So it's a 6 p.m. pregame right here after Jim, Matt, and Molly with Jim Rutledge and Jon Arias taking up to Bucks basketball. And then we also got the Green Bay Packers taking on the Saints on Monday Night Football. Packers currently about 14-point favorites per ESPN bet. Do the Packers need a big win to instill some confidence heading into the Vikings game? Stay tuned in the second hour. Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's
let
gonna
me get
swing
this
on
right.
Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me. I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, it's Mister. I did properly and correctly predict that game. And I'm not taking a lot of credit because I've done this before.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
You're like, what? What just happened?
Exactly. I was like, no way. How is this possible?
That's a mistake.
Who is this team?
I'm already tired, by the way. Just hearing all of this, I'm already tired and exhausted.
It was, it was a day.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison, alongside Jon Arias. Here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Matt Hamilton curling, Molly Brown out with babies. I am Jim Rutledge alongside Jon Arias. And we're going to look behind the curtain. We're going to make this a little tighter segment here. And I wanted to share this little personal story. I went to Costco today during the day because I was like running some errands. I'm like, you know what? I had to return one thing at Costco, and I was like, there's a couple things I can pick up. I don't know if it was the time of day or the time of year, but, and I'm trying to say this as respectfully as possible, but it seems like at like 11 o'clock or 10:30, actually 10:30, at least, what's today, Friday? 10:30 on a Friday at the Costco in Verona, they must have just opened up the retirement homes because everyone there was 70 plus, which meant the parking lot was impossible to navigate. The lines to check out were forever. And like there were so many times where like you could see like the younger people get visibly upset at the olds who'd be like walking around and like
the olds.
But like there's like a cart etiquette of like you can't just stop like without any awareness. So like people like almost smashed into like I saw some like person my age almost smashed into like a 75-year-old woman because the woman just decided to stop.
Like she's stopping in the middle of the street.
Exactly.
In a car.
And like,
yeah.
Like this woman like throws her arms up and we have a an exchange of more of like, hey, at least we're not the old people at the Costco at least. Like at 44, sometimes you're the old person in the room. But at Costco, you felt young because you're like, these olds in their 70s. But, ooh, man, it is something else. When it had to have been 65% of the store was 65 plus.
I had no idea there was an olds population that went to Costco. I thought that was more of, and by the way, I use the word olds. I don't know. Is that a thing? Do people call older people olds? You said that. I was like, olds?
Jim's on TikTok a lot. He sees a lot of the olds comments.
The olds?
Yeah,
I think I just came up with olds. What would you call them? Matt Hamilton's a known ages.
I think
like, Matt would have loved this
Olds
topic.
is a common phrase, especially I think among like, I don't know, millennials, Gen Zers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing.
And you know what? It's nice for me to be able to call someone old. I get called old all the time. Like,
do you?
No, not really. But everyone, I feel old all the time. Everyone in this office is, how old are you?
25.
I feel like 25 to 22 is the prime age, the median age of the office.
Yeah, honestly, so Alex G, who was on the show with you yesterday, Jim, he's 27, and I think he is in the upper half of like age in the office technically.
Yeah, because I would believe one of our marketing consultants, Chad Hopper, he's older than me. I know that. He's the oldest. I like to put his age out there. He's not quite the olds. He's not in the 70 range, but like he's the oldest in the office. There he is, too. I didn't even know he was still here. It's past his bedtime.
He's getting ready to go to a dive bar.
He's getting ready to go to dinner. It's 5:12. He's at that age
He's
where
past dinner
yeah,
time.
You got to eat and get to bed. But like otherwise, it goes Hopper, me, Hamilton, and then everyone else outside, and then G, and then everyone else is 25 or under.
Yeah, that's true. It's a weird disparity of ages in the office.
So
John, how old are you?
You're the olds. Why do we got to talk about that?
You were talking about screen time. You wouldn't tell us before. Tell us your age.
Did Jim ever say his age?
44. Yeah.
Oh, I'm 45.
The Adam and Madison chimes in. The boomers at stores are the root cause of my hatred for people. Boomers are really something else at this point.
I mean, is it just simply they just have no like court awareness? They don't know where they are?
Yeah, I mean,
or what is it?
There's a lot of entitlement. Like boomers get mad at the younger generations for entitlement. Boomers are 60 to age 60 to 78. There's a lot of entitlement with the boomers. And now it could just be like, I'm old, so just let me do my thing. Entitlement. And I think that's kind of what it is. Driving as well. And it's just, I'm not like super, like I wasn't in a super hurry, but like I was just thinking in general, you're going to move a little bit faster, a little bit more pace, just in everything. You're parking, you're walking, the whole thing. Boomers are retired, they got nothing to do, but then they forget that the rest of the people who exist in the world do have things to do. We're not retired.
The olds are there to remind you to slow down in life, Jim.
True.
It's not all about getting to Costco and going doing the next thing. Just enjoy the moment at Costco. That's what they're doing, man. You know, I
did not enjoy it.
When I see an old like make a bad move in a vehicle, and I get upset, and then I see they're an old, I go, oh. Well, I don't know. It takes a little bit off of it from me. I don't get as upset because I'm like, well, they're just trying. You know? Does that happen to you guys?
It's like when you see the worst player on your football team make a mistake, you're like, nah, he's a third string guy. He's not supposed to even be there.
Yeah. I guess a little bit like that.
Oh, Keyshawn Nixon got burned on an over route again. I mean, that's not it. He's playing out of position.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to do that because I wanted to throw some stones. John's got a stone to throw next segment there. That'll be coming up here in a minute. But you can help avoid becoming an old by going to Carbon World Health. They can help with semaglutide, hormone optimization, working out. All those things keep you young and healthy. And, of course, working out and hormone optimization and cryotherapy and red light therapy. In fact, they actually have Botox and plenty of beauty products over at Carbon World Health. Whether it's in Sun Prairie or in Madison, Carbon World Health can help keep you young. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson, and I'll remember 2024 as the year I was able to lose 40 pounds thanks to the team at Madison Weight Loss. Take advantage of this huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year right now through December 31st. You can start the program with Madison Weight Loss now or after the holidays. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com right now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Oh, my back.
Santa?
Gina Dello from Pella. You've been a good girl this year.
Is that why you're in here building new windows?
Santa's doing OT.
Let me make a call.
Frighteningly fast Pella team at your service. Let us take it from here, Mr. Claus. And Gina, next time.
I know. Ask for a Pella gift card. Right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get as low as $19 per window and $81 per patio door per month.
PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 12/31/2024.
Forget about the front row. The best seat and the best place to be on game day is Off-Broadway Draft House for all the sports. Check out our new game day menu with tostado nachos and featuring $2 hams on tap. Those specials are available all day on Saturdays and Sundays. Find out firsthand why Off-Broadway Draft House was Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Game day, any day. Discover what others already know. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer, stay for the food.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Matt Hamilton to remind you the holiday season is here and Metcalf's Market is your place to shop for all the essentials. From specialty meats and cheeses to an extensive selection of spirits, their knowledgeable team knows the perfect pairings for you. Wow your guests with tomahawk steaks, Wagyu beef, or that certified Piedmontese beef exclusive to Metcalf's Market. Visit one of their locations at Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or in Wauwatosa this holiday season. Go to Metcalf's Market and bring local home.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Phish Friday on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Off-Broadway Draft House. Enjoy a traditional Friday fish fry at Madison's favorite neighborhood gathering spot, Off-Broadway Draft House.
It's Phish Friday. It does not feel like Friday. I'm throwing up. That's why it's not a surprise that it's Phish Friday.
Who's the Phish fan?
So I am loosely. My brother is a massive Phish fan. Like, he's seen plenty of concerts. I've never got a chance to see them live. But I enjoy their music, mostly off, like, my brother, curates a playlist for me. He was heavily involved in coming up with this playlist. But then I've never been to, like, a traditional fish fry in Wisconsin. So my parents are not from here. I mean, I grew up in Wisconsin. My parents from Illinois, so like the fish fries for them were not like a thing they would go do.
Right.
And then I moved to Florida for a while, and I came back, and then my wife doesn't like fish fries, so it just kind of timed up where it's like maybe I have stumbled across, but just in general, I don't remember going to a traditional fish fry. So
we need to change that.
I know, and we've been trying to, and our good friends at Off Broadway, I think, have offered to do.
They have, yes.
Yes, we just have to figure out how to do it.
Well, it's tough when one of our show members is also stuck at a zoo and with baby twins.
So when Molly gets back and Matt is curling, we're going to try to get it out to a Phish Friday at Off Broadway, who sponsors Phish Friday here. And the other part of it is Phish Friday is kind of a fun alliteration. So we initially started with the idea of, well, my brother's a big fan of Phish. When Molly came to the show, like, let's just do Phish music on a Friday, and then Phish Friday, and it's Wisconsin, and then it kind of rolled from there, and then Off Broadway hopped in.
Perfect. Have you ever been to a fish boil?
Oh, God, no, definitely not. No, absolutely. I don't know what that is.
Did they do that in Minnesota?
Door County. Door County. You guys know what I'm talking about? They put all the fish in a pot, they boil it, and then it boils over, and then you eat the fish.
Nope, I'm not doing
simple
that.
Version
I
of
will
it.
do a fish fry. I'm not doing that.
Oh, you should try
Because you
it.
could fry a shoe, and it's going to taste all right. I mean, it's fried.
Fish boils are delicious. They look disgusting, but they're delicious.
It sounds very British. That's what I'll say.
Well, I don't think it is.
It just sounds like it would taste British, like that level of quality of food. Anything that's boiled, I don't know, boiling stuff outside of like crabs. I feel like boiling a crab is good, but other than that, it's like, maybe it's the shell. I don't know.
844-770-3776. How you get into the show? We're going to throw some stones in a minute. Jon Arias, Jim Rutledge with you. What did I do last segment? 608 chimes in. Jim is an ass. Yet he must be a perfect ass. Shut the bleep up.
I know.
Did you message that in?
You call people olds.
Is that what it is?
I think
definitely
so.
It's definitely someone who's
You
a
get
little
that
offended.
upset?
Well, they might be older.
I'm surprised. You know what? Good for you, Boomer, that you were able to text that in. But if you're that upset that you're texting that in, goodness gracious.
You did kind of go after the elderly.
Me? Like, this is 100% because I'm a Bears fan. Because Matt Hamilton is historically so much more anti-old than me.
Well, you will notice this is an unknown in the 608 number. So this might be someone who doesn't listen often. And they're just hearing you for the first time.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Do you think they're an older person?
Preposterous that I've even heard that.
Look, I hope that I have, like, when I get old, I will know it. And I'll be like, I'm part. I know that now. Like, I am in a bracket here where, like, I'm annoying some people for sure, just from my age. Like, I'm not moving as quick. I'm not going the way that 25-year-olds are probably annoyed with me at 44. Like, look at this old man. Get out of my way, old man. I'm trying to get through the store, but I'll own it. Like, yeah, I get it. Sorry, sorry, youngster.
The youths.
People like me. You know, I'm fine with. Hey, the Adam in Madison says, "Bleep the olds." Adam's with me.
I don't think we should turn it into bleeps the old.
I don't either.
Yeah, but someone bleep me.
Well, that doesn't make it okay to bleep them back.
Two bleeps make it right. That's what I tell my kids all the time. All right, let's throw some stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
I'm going to send this to my wife. She'll appreciate that text.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
What is your marriage?
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
I don't mean to say that in a denigrating way, Jim. Just why would your wife want to see that?
Well, because today before I left the house, in a loving way, I forget how it popped up. I was like the pets. I was complaining about the pets. It's like they're fine. That's how it went. So like the pets, I'm like, I could take them and leave them. Like they mess up the house, but they're fine. The kids like them. She's like, yeah, but look how good the girls are with the kids. And I said, well, I didn't grow up with any pets, and look at me, I'm just fine. And then she goes, well, you're a bleep hole. And I was like, that's fair. But she said it lovingly.
So this is your wife's burner, is what we're finding out.
It could be. That's why I'm sending this to her, because it's funny. I'm like, I'm not an ass, but apparently some people think I'm an ass. People like me. It's what I want to get to.
People certainly like
people like me more than Doug Gottlieb.
I was gonna say.
All right, John, take it away.
So we all know the Doug Gottlieb nobody you comment that he made that was put out on social media. I saw it before the Michigan Tech game.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who put it out, I'm sorry I don't have your Twitter account, but basically said, hey, watch out, Michigan Tech's a pretty good team. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder why Gottlieb would say something like that. They lose, and then everybody, all the accounts on X put out like why Doug Gottlieb is a blank because of the nobody you. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go back. I'm going to go listen to what he actually said. So to put this into context, there's a game between the comments and the Michigan Tech game. So these come after Milwaukee. They play another game in between, then it's Michigan Tech. And the clip on Twitter, everybody, listen, you can dislike Gottlieb for whatever reason, and that's fine, and I understand it probably at some level. But if you listen to the full context of the clip, do we have the clip?
We do.
Okay, so listen to him talk about nobody you, and then listen to what he actually says after the nobody you comments, and then I will chime in and I'll tell you what I think he's saying here that everybody is missing.
Yeah, I mean, this is why you got to schedule like everybody else does, a couple D2s early. You know, I know the league, and Julie was here today, and she's wonderful. But the league's like, you know, you got these tiers on who to schedule, like nobody. And part of the reason I want to play better teams is like, it's 2 degrees outside, it's snowing. Like, I don't really like the idea of nobody you coming in here and like, I always thought like, what do we learn playing a game where we win by 20? But there's a methodology to it, and I'm gonna have to adjust moving forward with the schedule. And I know that you sit there and you go like, well, Evansville's just okay and Campbell's just okay. It's like, yes, but every game on our schedule is a game that we can lose. And nobody else does that. And now you know why, you know? So I've learned a lot. I've learned about people, about my own personal momentum, about calling timeouts, about what to work on, about how to handle players and how to coach different people differently. And, you know, we're still kind of adjusting in terms of practice times for the rest, you know, and for their strength.
Okay, so to be fair to Doug Gottlieb, he says what he's saying is that they need to schedule. He doesn't like scheduling nobody you because you don't learn anything about yourself when you win by 20. And what he's saying is our schedule isn't like that. Everybody on our schedule can beat us. So maybe I should schedule nobody you, because you can see what happens. Nobody else does that. Now you know why. Now you know why nobody else schedules like they do. So what he was actually saying, everyone, is that their schedule, they can lose every game on their schedule. And maybe they should start scheduling nobody you. He's not saying Michigan Tech is a nobody you. Mm-hmm. Like when I saw that, I was like, why isn't anyone being fair to his comments? You can dislike him for whatever reason you want to dislike Doug Gottlieb. I'm sure there's a ton of reasons, right? Yeah. But I don't know. I thought he was taken out of context, and I didn't think that was fair to him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And, you know, I would say that I wouldn't even say he, like, earns it as, like, a radio host is probably taking people out of context. He definitely was taken out of context there. He doesn't do himself any favor because whether all the way back to playing college basketball, did he, like, narc on, like Doug Gottlieb from the beginning is just been a guy who is basically what the guy in Verona thinks of me, like an ass.
So you can tell Rutledge that.
So, like, Doug Gottlieb, sometimes he didn't earn himself goodwill. Now, to your point, doesn't mean we should be inaccurate. And so, like, that's kind of the trade-off there.
I thought that original clip on Twitter was so misleading, and it's just it's just the sports world version of politics.
Yes.
You'll
Absolutely.
have a clip where somebody says something, but you didn't listen to the last 3 seconds of what the politician said, and you're like, well, actually, I think they meant this.
Right, yes.
And that's what Gottlieb got. That's what he got like that. And I was disappointed that nobody... I was yelling at nobody. Like, I'm looking at my phone, watching. I'm like, well, no one... Is anybody going to say that he actually said that they should schedule, every game on their schedule is a game that they can lose? Did anybody mention that at all? No. And now, over the last couple of days, it finally has come out. But I just thought he got... shortchanged. If that's the way you want to describe it.
Did you think that Adam Schefter shortchanged him too on Twitter?
What was that? Okay, so you gotta fill me in again.
I believe there was something where Adam Schefter put out a tweet talking about how Sacramento State was raising a ton of money to try and bring
$50 million in NIL,
yes,
right?
To get essentially to push for a head coach like Michael Vick. I think now he's going to be coaching at Norfolk State, and they hired him this week. But he was putting out the tweet, and it was very obviously worded and crafted in a way where it was probably given to him by somebody from Sacramento State, trying to not an agent per se, but somebody from within the system, trying to show that
he wouldn't put out that number. He's Adam Schefter. You would think he would have some sort of credibility or source.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gottlieb called him out for that. Essentially,
0% chance there's $50 million.
Yes.
In NIL at that school.
And then he came back with a very firm statement saying, "I can say with 100% certainty that there is." Because he was being told that from somebody on the inside, essentially.
Isn't that a lot, though? Like, was it Sacramento?
Sacramento State.
Sacramento? I didn't know Sacramento had a state.
No. Yeah,
Sacramento State has $50 million in NIL?
They're a sovereign country now, actually.
What?
They must have a specific, I would imagine, rich donor.
That happens, though. There was in Eastern Michigan back in, remember there was a high-value college basketball player who transferred out of Memphis, transferred to Eastern Michigan because there's rumors he was getting paid $2 million in NIL to go there.
Dang.
All you need is one super rich donor who just wants to throw the money around.
Right, but how long does that money last?
Well,
you got like a little window there.
Yeah, you might run into Nevin Shapiro at the University of Miami or something like that, too, yeah. Which, those people tend to be shadier in their income. Typically, not always, but sometimes.
Well, then Walmart, Arkansas,
yeah, Tyson chicken nuggets there too.
Boone Pickens, Oklahoma State.
What's Boone Pickens?
That's their stadium. He was the
what is he?
He's the major funder.
I think he's passed.
Yes.
Is he oil? He sounds like an oil guy.
Yeah, it is kind of the oil area of the country. I mean, Texas A&M's an entire university is built on that.
He did pass in 2022. T. Boone Pickens was a American business magnate and financier.
Whenever you're a
hedge fund
magnate.
guy. In 2016, his net worth was $500 million.
Oh,
Oof.
Good for him.
If you guys ever had money like that, would you just throw it all at your alma mater like some of these boosters?
Depends. Like if I won the lottery, which is how I would acquire this sort of money, then no.
The lottery wouldn't even do that for you.
True. Well, I mean, there's some big ones, but I mean,
let's say you had bought Bitcoin in 2009.
Yeah, I guess that could do it.
Yeah, Apple in 1980 or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you even get your money out of crypto stuff? I feel like it's a
great question.
You guys want to talk about crypto for the next 2.5 hours? Let's go, babe. I'm just kidding.
I have a loose
really.
understanding about it. I just was more curious of
Yeah, you can always sell your crypto.
Yeah, okay, there you go. You can sell it. So there you go.
You can sell your crypto for more crypto.
True.
Doug Gottlieb, back when he was in high school at a private school, stole credit cards from his high school teammates and charged $1,000 worth of stuff on it and got arrested.
God, he still has to talk about it.
Yeah, but that's what his claim to fame was coming. I knew there was something controversial.
Claim to fame.
So it's controversial about him coming out of high school into college too.
Claim to fame.
What's your most embarrassing thing you did in high school you wish you could take back?
Not steal credit cards.
I know it's not that bad.
I mean, I get it,
that
but
bad.
that's not I whipped wheelies in a parking lot. I mean, you stole credit cards from your classmates.
People can change. I don't know if Doug Gottlieb changed.
I'm not saying Doug Gottlieb deserves
I know.
to get ripped on for it. I just had referenced that he did something a long time ago. I was trying to remember what it was. I'm
That's
just sharing
what it was.
it.
Yeah.
He definitely has moved on from it. He should not be dunked on for it. But literally, if you look in his Wikipedia, it pops up. Because also they did update his Wikipedia with the proper notes on his his comments.
Oh, did they really?
The proper
Wow.
timeline.
Oh.
They share the timeline better.
Oh.
Like, hey, you said they want to lose nobody, you, and then a few days later,
That's
but
on his-
like kind of sets it up.
That's already on his Wikipedia?
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably on there within minutes.
Imagine that be like, does everything he says like on his show get put on Wikipedia?
There might be a Gottlieb fan that just
Yeah.
updates Wikipedia all
I
the
guess
time.
that's that makes sense actually.
I'll
if you're
tell
like
you
a
what,
media personality.
Jim is an ass might be updating ours. He's texting a lot, so I'm just gonna say Merry Christmas. This
Oh,
is
what's
Jim
he saying?
Madden.
Is he mad?
Oh, he said he. Oh, here, I'll say it.
He's the
I was
Costco
at the
guy.
Verona Costco this morning at 10:30, Jim, and I saw you there. You were taking way too long to buy your panties. Okay. Merry Christmas.
You got
Jim.
a good discount though. Bought them in bulk.
Yeah, I did. You know what? They sell Duluth underwear there. Get some. I've gotten some Duluth underwear at Costco. I'm not wearing any Costco clothing currently, but they do have
Kirkland?
good.
They have good clothing.
They do have good clothing.
Kirkland undergarments.
No, they sell.
No,
like,
they do. I know.
Like
I have
you can
some.
buy like Nike. Like you have to kind of catch it at the right time. But I've got like a Banana. These might be my pants. Might be from.
Oh, I bought Banana Republic.
Yeah,
thing.
I have a pair of Banana Republic pants from Costco.
Have you ever bought the Kirkland golf balls?
Yes,
Those are good.
Those are a big thing.
Yeah.
I've paused on them because thanks to my friend Matt Hamilton, I made friends with someone at Srixon, and they gave me a ridiculous amount of Srixon golf balls that I have not worked my way through, so I haven't had to buy any golf balls in a while.
That's
But,
awesome.
At some point, I will go back to the Kirkland golf balls because apparently, look, the booze there, there's lots of great options over at Costco. But the clothing, too.
Yeah. Does Srixon have panties too?
They might. They might. Who knows? But I'll say.
I don't even like saying that word, by the way.
I hate that word so much.
I do too. That's why I said undergarment.
It's really nails on a chalkboard.
Yeah. Hate it.
Nails on a chalkboard. I'll share an inside family joke with both of you, and I'm not going to say the word again because it really does just. My mother-in-law refers to it.
Oh no!
Like she'll be like, "Oh, can I get underwear, but not for the girls?" This is when they were younger. Or like, hey, do you have enough underwear for the girls, like for the sleep or whatever? But she would not use that word. And both my wife and I are like skin crawl every time.
That would be the worst.
Yes. Yes. She's using it like it says it on the package. You buy it, so it is like the proper word.
They should get rid of that word.
They should ban that word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's come up with a list of words that we want taken away.
Just like
that
taken
one.
away like out of like novelty. Like just can't be make you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have moist as one.
That's a big one.
Did that one come from How I Met Your Mother? I feel
know.
like that got a lot of. I feel like that happened in How I Met Your Mother. They brought it up, and then it got a little bit of like people start really talking about it.
I cannot tell you the etymology of the moist awkwardness.
True.
That's a long trail.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, ESPN Madison on YouTube, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Unwrap exceptional offers during the Season of Audi sales event. Get financing as low as 1.9% APR on select new 2024 Audi models. Save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus and an additional $1,500 with the Season of Audi customer credit. Offer subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for details. Offer ends January 2nd. You'll find an excellent selection of new and certified pre-owned Audis at Audi Madison. Check out AudiMadison.com or stop in and test drive at Audi Madison today. Off the Beltline and Rimrock Road.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Kick off your weekend with the best fish fry in Madison at Off-Broadway Draft House. Serving all day on Friday starting at 11 a.m., you can enjoy cod, bluegill, perch, and walleye. Wash it all down with an Off-Broadway Draft House old-fashioned or try any of our rotating seasonal tap beers or specialty cocktails. Off-Broadway Draft House, Madison's People's Choice winners for favorite bar, wait staff, and more. Off-Broadway Draft House. Come for the beer. Stay for the food.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
When I jumped off, I had a bucket full of thoughts. When I first jumped off, I held that bucket in my hand. Ideas that would take me all around the world. I stood and watched the smoke behind a mountain curl. It took me a long time to get back on the train.
The Adam Madison chimes in with a word that he'd like to eradicate: whippersnapper. He also says the Adam is really. He's just bringing the heat today. He says the olds are always saying dumb words like undergarments and whippersnappers.
I said undergarments.
Well, it's better than the alternative. I'll give you that. Jon Arias, Jim Rutledge with you. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. And Prime, do you have any more words you want to nominate to eliminate?
I'm trying to think of...
Besides, like, obvious ones. We're just gonna
I'm trying to think of ones that, like, my grandparents would say that just bothered me. It's not one that bothers me. It just makes me feel like I'm around. This is going to sound so bad. It just makes me feel like I'm around old people when I hear this phrase. Whenever, like, my grandma would say, like, Yins want some dinner? Or, like, whenever they would say, just, like, Yins.
Yins?
I've never even heard of that.
I've never heard that?
No.
Yins, like, y'all. It's almost like saying y'all, but it's like
Yins?
a very, it's like, do you know, like,
Is that like, where are you from?
So my grandma lives in Southern Illinois. So it's kind of a phrase of like...
Must be. I guess it's
a very regional thing. It's kind of like a Rust Belt thing I found.
Okay.
Where it's kind of like, I know it's a very common phrase in like Pennsylvania. I know Pat McAfee's from Pennsylvania. He references that a lot, like Steelers or Yinzers. So like Yins want some like gravy or something like that.
Interesting. Okay.
That one just, maybe it makes me just feel weird because it's very just like... I'll be honest, middle of nowhere, Illinois.
There are multiple matches for you. So here's a plural pronoun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess that's what it stands for. A plural pronoun. Yins.
Yeah, so it's not even like it doesn't even like have like a real source. It's just like, it's a way of saying like y'all. It's just a like substitute for y'all.
I feel like supper is an older person's term.
Yes.
I don't see why. You talked about supper before.
Yeah.
Like, I think supper and dinner are like the same thing.
They are. I think we interchange them, but technically supper is a light meal, and sometimes it's had either as a lunch or like a meal after a heavier meal. Like, for an example, like we're going to medieval times. Nola, we're taking the whole family down there tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to medieval times. And it was either 4 o'clock. They do like it's a dinner show. It was either 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock. And it was like 7 o'clock is going to push it late, too late for an 8-year-old. She'll get home at like 9:30, 10. We're going to stay down there, but still. So we're doing 4, which is a very early dinner. So we're probably planning, and in theory, we have a supper because it'd be like we're going to eat this sort of weird meal at 4:30, and we'll probably end up just sharing a pizza together later. It'll be something light because to go from like 4:30 when we'll eat till 8:30 is kind of a long time, especially the kids go swimming and stuff.
I always took supper and dinner as the same thing.
So supper, again, another one here is supper is more casual home meal, and dinner would be like Christmas dinner. And you'd have supper like most nights.
So supper like most of the year.
Yes.
And dinner's only a few times a year.
Yeah. That's the more formal option. You go out for dinner, you don't go out for supper.
What's the last supper you ever had?
Well, that's very formal. That would be a more formal one.
It's a very formal one.
Because otherwise, like tonight, I would have supper when I get home.
So when you get home, so then you're going to eat later tonight then?
No, because supper in general is more, I would say, the more like relaxed. Like dinner would be like Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner. It's a more formal dinner, according to Google here. And then supper is more of the casual home meal.
So then lunch is just midday?
I've heard
How many
supper,
times are we eating?
Yeah, right?
I
Like
don't know.
first breakfast, second breakfast, lunch, supper, dinner.
Like,
So, and this is
It's
okay.
a heavy day.
Here again, this goes back to the etymology of it. Dinner was usually the biggest meal and was eaten midday. And then supper was what you had later.
Oh, so they never had lunch.
I guess dinner was like, and that would make sense. Like if you're working, obviously we were far more industrious back in the day. That if you're working like out in a farm or a factory or whatever, you might have a big meal middle of the day. Everyone eats it together. That's your big meal of the day, and then you have something a little lighter.
But like when the youths, Ryan, when they ask each other like out on dates, they don't say, "Hey, do you want to go out to supper?
You want to go sup with me?
Yeah. No, you'd be like, "Can I take you out to dinner?" Right?
Hey, sup. You want to sup?
Sup. Sup.
Yeah, I don't. But that would be. I feel to your point though. I feel like the youth.
Yeah.
They don't.
Supper would never enter a conversation that I'm having casually with friends. Unless you're going to a supper club, which is like a very specific night
Which
out.
then seems counterintuitive because a supper club would actually be more of like a dinner setting.
Yes.
You'd have supper at a diner, but you'd have dinner at a supper club.
Yeah. It's so backwards. The English language is so dumb. It really is.
I'm just going to keep doing it the same way.
Here's what I would suggest. Whether it's for supper or dinner, you can go to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. Get yourself, you can go for the Sizzle, Swizzle, and Swirl Happy Hour. Get yourself a steak sandwich or fried calamari or seared sashimi. Lots of great options. Otherwise, my wife and I have done plenty of date nights there. I would recommend you split a porterhouse because it's a massive steak. But the porterhouse, we still bring some home. And then you can get like a couple sides.
Yeah.
So we'll do the shrimp for appetizer, and then we'll do like the sauteed mushrooms and then sweet potato casserole as the sides, and we'll share a porterhouse steak, and it's still more than enough for us. A couple drinks, it's a great night out.
Ruth's Chris is delicious. You cut into that steak and it melts in your mouth. Oh,
And then that hot plate, because it's nice that, Ryan, if you ever do find a date, I would say it's a
Someone
running
to sup
gag on
with.
the show.
Take her out for supper.
with, yeah.
Take her out for supper.
Obviously.
But you can, like, my wife prefers her steak more like medium well, and I prefer more medium rare. So obviously you can't go from like the medium rare to well on your plate, but it comes out with a plate that's 500 degrees, so you can cook your meat a little bit more. So a lot of times I'll order like medium, and then my wife then she can leave it on the plate and cook a little bit more to get to that more medium well that she's looking for, because it comes out on a sizzling plate.
500 degrees?
Yeah.
You don't touch your plate.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's good. And it works. It's like a nice little bit.
I'll ask my date to pass it to me. Can you pass me the supper plate, please? The steaming hot supper plate?
I guess I don't know this for sure, but I think Ruth's Chris was the first place that Melvin Gordon had like a really nice steak. I'll just share this little story. This is not an endorsement for Melvin Gordon at Ruth's Chris. I want to be clear on that. But we did a Lunch with Legends thing out there. And so it was Melvin and I. I was the moderator. Melvin told some stories. At the end of it, we had some steak. Everyone else was eating during the event, so then Melvin and I sat at the bar afterwards, and we were just kind of chatting.
What kind of steak do you have? Remember?
I believe it was a filet.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we each
Oh,
got
yeah.
a filet, and he had never had a filet before, and he didn't really know how it was. Like he's like, how should I get it cooked? Because he had gone to like a big box sort of steak place, and they kind of just make it one way, or he'd get it like medium well. And they were nice. I think it was Lee who was helping us out. He said, you know what? Why don't you get it medium or medium? That way you can cook it to how you want it. And then Melvin had realized he likes it medium. But initially he's like, I always get it well done. He's like, well, get it medium. We can always cook it a little bit more if you really hate it. But otherwise with the plate, you can heat it back up. Velvet got it medium, had it there. And then it messaged me, because obviously it's a chain. There's other ones. He would message me, and he asked, like, what was the name of that place? Because he wanted to go find it when he was out in California.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had that steak. So
it stuck with him that much.
It did. Look, your first good steak does stick with you.
Yes.
Wherever you have it. Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We'll wrap the show up on the other side. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
Step into nostalgia with the Miller High Life Dive Bar of the Week. Listen to Jim, Matt, and Molly every Thursday to find out where you can enjoy $2 Miller High Lifes and High Life Lights. To celebrate our love for dive bars, we are going to tell you about some of our favorites, featuring one extra special dive bar that will have $2 High Lifes on special for the week. Taste the champagne of beer in its natural environment. A delightfully different dive bar in Wisconsin, like The Pub at Pleasant Springs, Antlers Tavern, Dots Tavern, and Mount Vernon Tap.
Hey, it's Riley Yauk. Stay in the know on area high school sports and follow ESPN Madison on Twitter for Prep Mania on Deck, each week's preview for the top games and events. Prep Mania on Deck is brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of high school sports and local communities.
Madison Weight Loss is having a huge holiday sale, almost 20% off, making it our lowest prices of the year. You can start the program before, during, or after the holidays. We know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day with no prepackaged meals, no injections or surgery. The secret is our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good. To learn how our clients on average lowered their metabolic age by 17 years, go to MadisonWeightLoss.com now to schedule your free consultation and learn why your metabolism may be sabotaging your weight loss goals. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com and save big now only through December 31st.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson, and I'll remember 2024 as the year I was able to lose 40 pounds thanks to the team at Madison Weight Loss. Take advantage of this huge holiday sale with the lowest prices of the year right now through December 31st. You can start the program with Madison Weight Loss now or after the holidays. Go to MadisonWeightLoss.com right now to schedule your free consultation. That's MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Fleet Farm's really getting into the spirit of the season by giving Fleet Rewards members an extra 10% off this Friday through Sunday. No rebates, no waiting. 10% savings on qualifying purchases in-store and online is like a nice Christmas bonus for Fleet Rewards members. Not a member? Sign up now to save. Get your extra 10% off December 20th through the 22nd and get the most out of your last-minute holiday shopping at Fleet Farm. Some restrictions apply.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Listen to Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin on 100.5 ESPN.
So I'm tired and grumpy the last 2 days, you're mad. Today I'm jolly as St. Nick and you're mad. Like, I can't please you two.
You're not as jolly as St. Nick.
Sounded jolly.
Wilde and Tausch, weekdays 9 to noon on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by Grassland Dairy, Hallman Lindsay Paints, Coors Light, Made to Chill, and American Family Insurance.
Looking to kickstart a healthier lifestyle? Prairie Athletic Club has everything you need, and now's the perfect time to join the pack. Sarah Tauscher here, and for a limited time, you can save $10 per month for your first year and enjoy 3 months of hot yoga for free. Don't wait. Your healthiest lifestyle starts now. Join today and discover why the pack is consistently voted the best place to work out. Visit prairieathletic.com today. Prairie Athletic Club, family fun community.
This is Devin Robinson from Badger Volleyball, here with Madison's best roofing, siding, and window company, Ridgetop Exteriors. I protect the net at the field house, and they protect your home. They're trusted, local, and affordable. Go to ridgetopexteriors.com today. That's ridgetopexteriors.com.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Oh, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, pump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hit to left and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone! Wow!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN. Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
They dance above me as I sing. I see them through a crystal.
Now, you asked me earlier, John, like, who's the Phish fan? This song is actually probably my favorite Phish song, bouncing around the room. I played it for the girls as well. It's got a nice little uplifting vibe. Are you a fan of Phish?
I know of Phish. I've heard this song. This song sounds familiar. I'm sure I probably heard others, but I couldn't name them.
He's Jon Arias. I'm Jim Rutledge. Primetime Willershine behind the glass. Prime, are you a Phish fan?
I've become one since we started Phish Friday, I
Yeah.
will say. I didn't listen to it a ton. I had a teacher in high school who was a big Phish fan. Decorated the walls of his classroom in Phish posters.
Good for him.
Burned a lot of incense in that room. A lot of incense.
I had an
Our
incense.
teacher.
I had an incense phase for sure.
You had an incense phase.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Your Phish phase, huh?
Yeah, it was like also like you're a single guy, like, oh, I got the room smell nice. It was actually the phase one for a while. My current wife was like, can you just stop with the incense? Like,
Does incense smell good?
I felt like it smelled better than a dude's apartment.
Okay, fair.
You know, like I didn't think like, oh, air freshener, I'll plug that in. I was like, I'll just light incense.
I'll just burn this candle.
Like everyone else who and Ryan, this is why you should hold out. You're doing just fine, because like every other guy, and John, I guess I can speak for you for sure. You just luck into someone who says, you know what, I'll just take you on this project.
Yeah.
You're an idiot, but I think I can mold you into something that's useful.
I'll make sure you don't burn down the apartment with your incense.
Right, like
stop that.
your stupid ideas. Like I'm sure, somewhere along, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
It's just, and so you look back at your single self and you're like, how did anyone ever consider me as a prospect?
I mean, yeah. I've got some posters I would want to take back even now.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just growing up. But 844-770-3776. What is it about Phish that's kind of, when you've been hearing it, that gets you into it a little bit now?
I don't know what it's like. You said, it's an uplifting vibe. It's just like it's pretty carefree and just not introspective, but it's just a nice wind down type band.
So I tell you how I think Phish Fridays work perfect. Like if I was listening to this show in my car and it's summertime and it's sunny out for some reason,
that's when it hits.
That's when it's the
That's when it
like
hits.
right now when it's dark, it doesn't hit the same.
It's very true.
I agree with you on that, and I do want to know if someone wants to chime in 844-770-3776. Have we made anyone new a Phish fan? Like, have you become a new Phish fan because of Phish Friday? I would love to know if we've been able to do that, because my brother would be thrilled. And then also, have there been like, there's certain things where the fan base kind of turned me off to it for a while, like. Phish folks would go so hard, you're like, okay, I can't get into this. Same with or almost maybe intimidated. Dave Matthews Band for a while.
I've got one of those.
That's the one I was going to say.
And it became their entire personality. But then I was dating a girl in Florida, and she was a huge Dave Matthews Band fan. And I went to some shows. I'm like, yeah, everyone here is pretty cool. The music's it's good. It's fine. Like it's a good time. Like you go to a Dave Matthews Band concert, like, you'll have a good time. Like, everyone's super welcoming.
For Jim.
Yeah, of course. In my entire life, most things I did was try to either impress a girl or go along with a girl.
Now, I'll say this. I really love Taylor Swift's Midnights album. That's what kind of got me into being a fan. I was like, I'll listen to this album. I was like, this is pretty dang cool, man. I like this a lot. And my daughter loves Taylor Swift. But do you think that'll be like in the future? People will be like, oh, the Swiftie fans.
Oh, the people are already there. And I'm with you. So again, back to Always a Girl. My daughters, like, they started liking Taylor Swift. I started listening to songs. And initially I started like, oh, Bon Iver's on this song with X. I'll listen to this one. And then I know the Haim. I know this band. I'll start listening to the songs that she performs with people I know. And then the girls will listen to some more. And I'm like, oh, you know what? She's got a lot of good songs. Like, she writes all her own songs. Yeah, some of them are poppy, but like a lot of people I listen to have pop songs. But then she has some other songs that at least she's bearing her soul in them. Like, she's putting her heart and soul into it. Yeah,
that's her.
And that's why the Swifties make her everything that they are.
Which, you know what, I actually find, again, the Swiftie thing always makes me laugh. And John, I think I've talked about this before, but like, you're a Vikings fan, Bears fan, like we're just putting a name on it. Like, Swifties, like, we ride or die with our team. Like, we're Swifties for our own team. But everyone's like, oh, Swifties. I'm like, everyone's got their thing.
Everybody's a Swiftie in their own.
Packer fans are Swifties.
They just don't call them that.
They call themselves cheeseheads.
Cheeseheads. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So I never got on like just ripping someone else for being super passionate. I think it's sweet that my kids know all the lyrics to like all the songs.
Haven't you gotten on wrestling fans before?
But not like, you could do your thing. I mean, it is obviously for children, but like you can do your.
There
But
you
I'm
go.
not.
Children in the
but
olds.
it's not. But it's not specific to like. I don't rip them for like being like having a passion for it. I just think it's,
It's nonsensical.
It's hard for me to connect it. Like, because literally for me, it was literally a moment in my childhood that ended when my dad at some point was like, "Hey, this is all staged." And I was like, "Oh, well, now I don't care."
Right. But there's some cool listen, I'm not a wrestling fan, so I understand. It is kind of weird to me, or different to me, that someone can be into something that they know. You're watching reality TV.
It's male soap operas.
Oh, sure.
But you know what? I'll admit to this. I got sucked into a male soap opera. Yellowstone, it was basically a male soap
Sure.
opera. I mean, that show was ridiculous, but I enjoyed every second of it. A lot of Coors Light banquet in Yellowstone as well. John, thank you so much. Go be a winner this weekend. Go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, win $1 million. Millions of dollars won every weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Jim Rutledge here. I was like you. I didn't know what it was until I saw Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. He can walk you through the benefits. He can tell you if it's right for you, and then you could